Good evening, everybody.
Or afternoon, depending on what. Can you move over? Thank you. You were taking.
We're not outside in our backyard. We're in front of our fireplace. It is now the fall, and you sent me an article to read. Yet another article to read, and you are my guru when it comes to social media success. And you are a sharer of many things. And there were some good tips, but there was one that really stood out. It was part of these tips that you agreed with, but there was one particularly that was sparked by someone that went into your messenger and private messaged you. And Guy Kawasaki's theory says, because one of the tips is to be bold. And Guy Kawasaki said...
As opposed to italic?
Yes. So, be bold. And this is what inspired us to come on and to say some of the other tips. And you have a lot of great tips, which I'm gonna let you share, actually. But
I don't know what they are.
All right. Well, I know some tips, and then you could piggyback that by things of your own experience, if you've helped clients and businesses and our own personal success. So there's not one size fits all for everybody, but there are definitely some best practices. And the be bold one was really, I'm going to quote Guy Kawasaki's theory is, if you're not pissing people off on social media, you're not using it right. And he says, while, bold, Guy is very bold, and
right.
You sometimes like to be bold but vague bold, pushing boundaries could be a good thing, but, okay, and he even says, and if on the flip side of the coin, if everyone loves what you're doing, and you're not pissing people off,
you're doing it wrong.
You might be too bland.
Right.
So I would rather be bold.
Right, Jeff? I ain't bland.
I'd rather be bold than bland. So in order to have good content, meaning meaningful, unique, engaging, what else?
Sticky.
Inviting, there are certain things, and one of them is to be bold and interesting. But the other thing you've always told me is to always have an image in your post.
That's correct. But first, let's pause for this public service announcement. I would like to congratulate our daughter on landing a job. That's why I'm wearing my MSU Dads t-shirt. Lindsay, who graduated with her master's in May, is now a middle school art teacher. Thank goodness. So now she can start paying back her student loans. Congratulations, Lindsay.
Congratulations, Lindsay. We're so proud of you. We love you so much. But you know what's
so
so cool?
The children are very lucky.
I think our investment...
Now back to our show.
But I think it's interesting. No. I think as parents, I think it's a really cool ride. Because this, she's been interviewing. And she received offers, and then she had to turn down some offers, and then she got other offers. And, and talking about what's right. And I remember when we were younger.
Right.
And we didn't have social media, and we didn't have this. And honestly... So, as a parent of a early 20-year-old,
yes,
it's kind of cool. You kind of go through that same journey with them, and the ups and the downs. And
why is it though that I feel like I don't feel on the inside much older than them? Like I remember that part of my life.
Me too.
Distinctly.
I think starting in the 20s you do. I think you start to remember, and you can relate because I don't think K to 12. I mean, you think about some experiences, your social experiences, your academic experiences, and then you go off to college. And that's really very memorable.
Right.
What's going to happen from then on, and looking for a job. You know?
Yeah.
So,
no, I mean, it's much different animal now than it was, 30 years ago when we were, doing the same thing.
You didn't have social media, so you got on the phone. You had to send in, first of all, via snail mail, your resume with a cover letter.
Wait, I was at the chiropractor a couple of days ago.
Yes.
And Doreen, who sits at the front, who we love, was there with Bianca, who also works, and we love Bianca too, but Bianca's much younger than us. And I asked Bianca if she knew what carbon paper was.
Oh, God. We use carbon
And
paper
she didn't
in
answer, but she
typewriters.
was Googling it as we sat there.
Now, Google is a friend, but, Robert, I look very short
Do you
next
know what
to you
carbon
today.
paper is? And you are taking up so much
Oh
more
my God,
of the
I'm so
screen
not.
than
I
me.
can't even believe it. So everybody with social media can do better. But
Oh, absolutely.
But everybody should really, certain things should be helpful. So when we come online, first and foremost, I think we want to.
How is Jeff watching both of our live feeds at once?
I don't know. Okay, but
And Martha's on, and Vicky is on, Vicky Barone.
and Yvonne and Abby and Vanessa.
And Martha's
hello
on.
to
and how's-
everybody.
Oh, here Jeff's. Oh, he must be bouncing back and forth on our feeds.
Robert was supposed to be helpful.
Okay, I'm just monitoring the social media. Hey, Aunt.
So, in essence, be
Monty's
helpful.
on.
If you're going to come on live like this, be helpful. I'm going to move away, and
Yes,
I'm sure.
growing up.
Okay.
Yes.
I should have
It's
put on
never
my
too
MS.
late to
I'm
have
sorry,
a
I didn't put
happy
on my
childhood.
MSU. So,
You
no,
just did this
be
dawned
helpful
on you
because the
just
thing
now?
is people will see the value in what you do
Right.
and how you do it and why you do it.
Right.
For instance, right now, this isn't one of the tips, but I'm going to say if you're going to go live on Facebook, and this is one of my peeves, you know what I'm going to say.
Comb your hair.
We are recording in the horizontal landscape format.
Oh yes.
And why is that, Robert?
Because that's the only way to shoot video.
Because
There is no such thing as vertical video.
so all the people that might be tuned
Our
into this
eyes are horizontal.
and choose, that's interesting.
Our television is horizontal.
Every computer screen.
Computer screen is horizontal.
So, but most of us use our phone in the vertical display. So I think that's why most people have a habit.
Well, no, they're just lazy. Most of them are just
No,
lazy.
I think most of them don't know. So now I hope we're helpful. That was just another tip, and that is being successful. So also be a problem solver. So helping with your knowledge.
Okay.
So whether we've helped people in the wedding and event space,
Right.
we've helped people in the health and wellness, nutrition and fitness space.
Right.
We've helped people in the nonprofit space.
Correct.
We have helped people. We have helped people with just Google Voice.
In the for-profit space.
So and the for-profit space. So we've helped people. We've helped people in as volunteers and as paid
In the
professionals.
no-profit space.
In the no-profit place. So instead, people are in search of solutions.
Right.
So I think this is one of the reasons we came on today, is to let everybody know that if you're going to go share something in social media, it should be helpful and you can help with solutions, solve some problems.
That's correct.
So, and another way to do that is to be brief. And honestly,
That's funny.
no, because it says, and this is true, you're competing with millions of posts every day. And I tell you, it's crazy.
Trillions of posts.
You're
maybe.
right. And people make snap judgments and move right along if you don't capture interest equally. So we know attention span is very limited.
Yes.
So hopefully people are staying tuned with us. And it's one of the information that I found is the sweet spot for Facebook posts is 150 to 200 characters. That was a study done.
Where would we fit all those people?
The sweet spot for created content is 500 to 1,000 words. So then
We have well exceeded. No, Doreen's on now. I was just talking about you, Doreen.
yes. So we said be bold and then be visual. And that's the part about populating your posts with images, right?
Or video.
Well, it says every post literally should contain eye candy in the form of a picture, graphic, or video.
Or a kiss.
Okay. So that was nice. So that's a visual. So the other thing is that image posts get 100, according to Mary Smith, and you follow Mary Smith.
I like her a lot.
You like her a lot, and I always hear her voice, that Canadian voice of hers. And she says that image posts get 179% more interactions than the average Facebook post. And videos, like Robert just said, are the most shared post type with 89.5 average Facebook shares.
Wow.
Not likes and comments, but shares.
I didn't think it was 89.5. I thought it was just solid 89.
So tip 6 is to be found. And that means using hashtags. So talk about the hashtags. Because it's the way that people can find content that you're actually interested in.
Right.
But,
Hashtags are used to aggregate content, not just to be like cute.
so it's like a shared
Okay. It's a way for people to
find.
common content. So you should really be, first of all, hashtags are not for Facebook. Hashtags are for Twitter and Instagram primarily. And
That's what it
they
says
should
here.
be used for, and I didn't even look at that.
I know.
And they should be used for search. And for example, I have a new client that creates some very beautiful jewelry, and we were looking for a hashtag for her to use, and we researched some, and I searched for it on Instagram and Twitter, because what you want to do is come up with a hashtag that is as unique as possible. When you're doing it for like to start, kind of a trend on a hashtag, like if you're having an event or for a business and you always want to use that hashtag, you don't want it to be used for some, gang related, post or something that's, totally different than what you're promoting. So when you have an event or something like that, you want the hashtag to be unique so that everyone at that event or concerning, your cause or what you're doing is using the same hashtag, and then you're aggregating the content through that hashtag.
So if you're interested in, for instance, more social media tips, you could go to hashtag social media tips, and very likely you will find some other tips. But make sure that your source is
Right. You want to
you want to make sure the source is someone that you
right.
trust.
You want to do your own due diligence. You want to get a variety of information and, do your own
And
research.
it is recommended to add some hashtags, not Facebook per se, but even though a lot of people do on Facebook, but it says if you use more than a few hashtags, and I don't know the rule of thumb, and I know it, but it says this expert said you look like a hashtag idiot who's trying to hashtag game the system.
Right.
Is that possible? Is that true?
Yes. They say you should use up to 30 on Instagram. I like to come in at around a dozen hashtags, but depending on what the post is, it'll determine how many I'll use. But usually 10, 12 or so hashtags.
It says the jury is still out on hashtags on Facebook. They do work, but they can look spammy. It says.
Right.
So don't send. Oh, and she also says don't send all your Instagram posts to Facebook. And leave all the hashtags on your Facebook post.
Right.
It smells of lazy social media.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. We'll use automated systems and then cross-post on, every social media platform the exact same post, each and every time, because it's being generated from one particular source, whether it be Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, and then pushing it out. I mean, every once in a while, that's fine, but, you want people to follow you in different places, and if you're posting the exact same content in all the places, there is no incentive for anyone to follow you
on all those channels.
But having said that, just because a social media channel exists doesn't mean you should be using it.
And if you share content, this is another thing that I think is a good tip. If you're going to share content, I think that you should populate it with some of your own content. Also,
Well,
shouldn't you not just share it? Shouldn't you also
But
write
what's the saying? Copy,
paste, customize. So if you could, but sharing something is a compliment. If let's say someone
right, but
decided
you want
to
to
share
give
this,
credit to who also you're sharing. If someone posts a graphic that you really like, you shouldn't just take the graphic and put it, exactly the same way, and not adding your own spin or not saying thank you to the person who generated the post originally. The same common courtesy that you would do in face to face, belly to belly, you should do in the social media space as well.
So, and also everyone, we should be interested. We should actually be interested in other people, so to maintain a connection in social media. Right. So it's a two-way street.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, we're all interested in what we're interested in, but I think there's something to be said about, being well-rounded in whatever you do. So, you shouldn't, your content shouldn't come from only one source. It should be sourced from different places and different types of content. Makes you a more interesting person.
So do you have any special tools or resources that you would like to share with anybody?
Well, I like the Adobe products. Adobe Spark, Adobe Page.
And they're free.
Adobe, yeah.
It's free.
It's all free. And it's best
and
if
are they
you
easy?
sign up for Adobe.
Is it easy to use?
Yeah, they're very easy to use, and they all have apps. And I use it all the time. And
so
it helps
Adobe
you.
Spark is a good one.
Adobe Spark is excellent. I would recommend you check that out. It is free and very easy to use, and you can reformat for different social media. So you can create a graphic for let's say Pinterest, and then you can resize it for best fit for for Instagram or for Facebook.
I'm going to say one of my favorites that you turned me on to is Canva.
Another design program.
.com.
Excellent.
It's great for your on your Facebook or for your cover art. You could create a really nice background. It's really nice if you have a party or an invitation or you have a flyer that you want to create. It's really fun, also easy to use. So I highly recommend Canva. And I also, what's really great for Instagram, you've been using the app called Tagomatic. And I think you like, and that's, I've been trying to use it too. Helps search for hashtags that may be related to the content that you're talking about. What else is a good way to stay organized with you used to love Hootsuite. So do you have a better way now?
Hootsuite is a good program, but I think what I see a lot of on Facebook is people, especially within groups, because groups, are extremely popular now because, it's bringing like-minded people together in a common space. And what you'll find a lot of people doing is they will, in the comments, type something like following, because they want to get notified every time someone makes a comment on that particular thread, right? Or they'll put a period in there, it's just something so that they get a notification that someone else made a comment. Well, if you just click in the upper right-hand corner in that little drop-down of the post, you can click turn notifications on for this post. So you don't have to write a comment following, which then fills up the comment feed, right? And then anyone following it is just getting follow. They're not getting any of the comments that they want, from there. So if you just in the drop down just put follow this post, get notifications for this post, follow this post, and that way anytime someone makes a comment, you will be able to then follow that post. So rather than fill up the feed with just,
Follow. So what about, you've also said you said something before that not every channel is appropriate for everybody.
Not every social media.
So what do you mean by that?
Well, because, let's say you have a type of business that's a very text-driven business, right? Let's say, you're a patent attorney and the information that you're going to share is a very textual, kind of information. You might be sharing legal briefs or, articles and things like that don't lend themselves to visual beauty, right? Not that there aren't good-looking attorneys out there, but you wouldn't necessarily be using Pinterest per se to promote your business because you don't, Pinterest is a hugely visual platform. And it doesn't necessarily lend itself to something that's highly text-driven. So that might not be the right platform for you. You might be better off, in Twitter land, where you're going to, pick some specific hashtags that might be of interest to those in the legal profession or that are looking for that specific information. You might have more traction there.
How could, because listen, there's always something new coming out. There's some new tools that come out. There are new ways to organize. You could color code. There are so many different ways to organize social media. And there are some people that could even help inspire you with content. I suggest just the old-fashioned way, keeping a pen and paper by wherever you are, and when you think of something you want to share, like we knew we wanted to share something about social media tips,
right,
with our circles. But how do you there's so much content. So how can anybody really set themselves apart? What is your number one tip on setting yourself apart? Other than doing live video, which I definitely think is something that more people should try to do, but not just to do it.
Well, I think the one thing that can't be faked, right, is authenticity. Because that's the meaning of the word, being authentic. You really, you can try to feign authenticity, but it doesn't come through. So I think that in whatever you do, you should be authentic. You should try and, whenever possible, even if you're sharing, create original content along with that, whether that be commentary that goes along. If you're going to post an article, post a few sentences of your impression or why you're sharing that particular article. Putting your own voice to whatever you do, I think, is really what will set you apart. And if you have valuable information to share and valuable insight, you will find people that will like what it is that you're saying and what you're doing. But you can't pretend to be something you're not. It may last for a while, but people will sense that you're inauthentic in that regard. And you may not sense that they sense it, and you may continue to do that, but trust me, people know, what's up. So I think authenticity is
Number
paramount.
one.
Yeah.
I just think that I don't think everybody should go live just because everyone says to go live.
Yeah, right.
Everybody should have.
We like the interactivity here, but some people are terrified by the idea of this, and you know what? That's okay. You don't have to necessarily do it live. You can record it just as easily, and then post it. If you're not interested in necessarily getting that live interaction, and you just want to get your opinion or your thoughts or your feelings out there, then just do a recording of yourself.
Well, and listen, video is so powerful. Robert, I've been married to a videographer for 25 years, and happy anniversary to Kim and Bruce Levine, their 25th wedding anniversary today. Happy 50th birthday to Elisa. Happy 50th. So I love doing shout outs and I love celebrating people. So I know everyone who gets a message from me will know that I love, making sure that you're recognized on your special days. But the, with video is that.
Did we discuss being brief?
We did talk about being brief. But with video, I was going to say something and I lost my own track.
Good. I'm glad it happens to you every now and then. But I think we should wrap up.
Okay. So, what was I going to say, though, about video?
I don't know. That not everyone should do it, or you don't
right.
need to
But
do
I
it
think
live,
that everybody. I
or...
think when you're going to do video, you need to be saying something of value and educate others. And
not
also,
continuously. There could be stuff that you say that has absolutely no value at all. Look back on this particular recording and you'll see.
I think that there was some value. I think there was more than some.
A little bits of value, I hope, a little bits of entertainment, and little bits of frustration, and little bits of there they are again, unfriend, and that's okay.
Don't unfriend unless
you can unfriend. That's totally okay. No hard feelings. I get it. I understand.
You know, I just think that people...
You're going to miss good stuff, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to turn off our viewers, but that I just think that, you know, some people need to get comfortable being uncomfortable on a lot of things. That's the way we grow. That's the way we can do better and be better, is by trying new things. That's not, you know, you can't, you know, we've learned that, you know what, you're a disaster before you're a master. You know, I think that's kind of true. But I also think that this is where I think it is good to use video, and then we can go, is I do think that, that's very nice, but not unfriend, is Robert has unfriended, is with video, you really can have your perspective, your point of view. You can share something, because guess what? Someone out there probably may feel the exact same way as you. And it kind of feels good to have company when you share certain things. So I think that...
Well, that's like when you go to a presentation, you know, and they say, you know, don't be afraid to ask a question, because chances are someone, you know, in the next row is, you know, has the same question. So don't be afraid to ask it.
But truthfully, another peeve of mine is...
You have more peeves?
I have more peeves. No, but the other peeve is mine, and I know it's yours too.
Go ahead.
We've seen it in person.
Yes.
And we've seen it online.
Okay.
Don't apologize.
Yes.
For
correct.
Saying...
For anything.
For anything. Right? What is your saying about apologies? You can always...
No, it's better to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission. No, but what Holly is alluding to is you see so many speakers take the stage, right? And they'll take the stage and they'll say, you know, you'll have to forgive me. I've got a cold today, and if I'm my throat's a little raspy and my voice a little funny, you'll have to forgive me. Or, you know, I didn't get much sleep last night, and so if, you know, I seem a little off today, you'll know why, you know, or some other excuse, right? You never get up there and start your presentation off by apologizing for anything.
You have to be confident. So Beatrice is saying, you know, she has so much to share, and she struggles with videos. Well, by the way, you're not alone. We speak to a lot of people. But that's the thing. We can help you do that if you really, really want to come live. So that's Robert's expertise. And I'm not bad at it either when it comes to what kind of content to share, how to share it, and just be you. You are so beautiful, Beatrice. And I really do believe that you have a lot to share with the world. So that's about personal branding. It's about what you want to make sure your world wants to know about, or how you want to grow your audience. And I love that hopefully people come back. I personally like going live by myself, but I enjoy going live more with you, with Robert. But that's us. We've just done so much together, and it's more fun to me to do together, even though he...
And I don't have to talk too much.
Well, I talk a lot. So, Beatrice, we can talk to you about that. And anybody else who would like to go live. But you have to have something to say. You have to have purpose.
Or be able to sing.
Well, I love when people sing. Or
play an instrument.
So, a couple of things.
Yes.
One,
okay,
I'm hoping everybody, all of my family and friends and loved ones are all safe. And, you know, power's back for my parents.
Yes.
Florida.
People are getting their power back.
Karen didn't have her Wi-Fi. She went to a parking lot to go live.
You have to get out of your comfort zone.
You have to get uncomfortable. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right.
And that's with anything. Anything.
Except with underwear. You should never have uncomfortable underwear.
That's true.
Or uncomfortable shoes.
So you're funny. You really are funny.
Uncomfortable shoes are the worst.
So to all of them.
Yes.
We had a great time celebrating with Alex for his birthday this past weekend. We had an amazing time in Connecticut. We are so thrilled for Lindsay. She is on the beginning of her new journey. He's kicking me out. And we want to wish a wonderful evening to everybody.
Everyone. And anyone.
And we look forward to, we haven't been on for a few days, so we hope you didn't miss us too much. And we'll be back soon. Good night, everyone.
Not too soon. You know, Another day.
Go ahead. You're in
Not
charge
today.
of turning us off. Finish.